lost in the madness, in the neon glow. I open my skies. Oh.
Hi guys to everyone, it's Ada from Poison Drug, and today I have the pleasure to with me Cameron from Love is Noise. First of all, how's it going, Cameron?
Yeah, it's going amazing. It's a bit of a wet and windy day here. We're actually in the studio at this moment in time, so yeah, just vibing and enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah, because it's getting closer. It literally is getting closer. We are almost 1 week, kind of
Yeah, ten days or so.
10 days from the release, because it's gonna be released on the 14th to live in a different way. And of course, I'm gonna ask you: Did you make that on purpose? On purpose?
Yeah, we did. So the album it's all about love. It's all about
Okay, we're gonna
finding
do.
ways to love yourself, love the people around you. And we thought, oh, Valentine's Day, that sounds like it works perfectly with what we're trying to push on the album. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
completely on purpose.
I mean, that's great. Also, let's say it's not only for couples, even people that,
Yeah.
like you said, love themselves. It's ourselves. It's good. But of course, Cameron, before we jump to talk about the album and also the beginning, the previous EP, and so on, just a little bit about your musical journey. Like, who is Cameron? How you started to start to love music, and just growing up, how you ended up to just say, okay, you know what, I want to be more serious in the music field, and this is the fucking time to go out and release an album.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm from a place called Bolton in Manchester in the UK.
Okay.
Most people won't know where that is, but Manchester United around that area. And yeah, I grew up, my parents were playing music all around the house and I was brought up on music. I played drums from the age of 3. That was where I started really. I was just
Okay.
playing drums continuously for years and then I actually what happened was where my journey began properly, I guess, in music was I was actually a promoter when I was about 16 in Manchester.
Promoter,
Um
too young.
yeah, yeah, I put on shows because no one else was really doing that. So I was like, who how do I get some of my favorite bands to come to Manchester? And I was like, okay, I'll put the show on. So yeah, so I did that and then met people from there, started a band. Yeah, I was in a band called Lotus Eater and did loads of bits there. I was the drummer for that. And then
Okay.
after that ended, I made Love Is Noise with my friend Tom, and yeah, the rest is history.
So how, I mean, you were in drum, but
Yeah.
how you switch it off?
Yeah, so I actually sang a little bit in the old band and
Okay.
sang and played drums. I've been singing all my life, so I sang in school choirs and all that type of thing.
Oh,
And then yeah, so I've always had a voice. I've just never really been strong enough to be at the front.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, why don't I just go and do it? And then I just look trial by fire and just went and did it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's also kind of an interesting journey because you started literally young, being a promoter. So not only being in a band, knowing the music, like just playing how a band works, but also how the other side works, like the behind. So that's, I think maybe today it's turned out to you really helpful that
Yeah, exactly. I
yeah.
learned very quickly when I was promoting that, you've got to be you just got to understand what you're doing. And when I was younger, I didn't know what I was doing. So there
Yeah.
was just moments where bands would come and play shows, and things would go wrong because I was learning on the job and that type of thing. But I met some of my best friends from doing that, and I would recommend anyone to just if in their town that there aren't any shows, go and be the person to start the shows, even if it's you creating a band and playing the shows, your own shows, or just getting your friends' bands to play. That's where it all begins, I believe, anyway.
And also where you make like a long life friends. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do also here, to bring a little bit of music scene in Sicily, and just being all together like friends of 20 years old, like bring this friend and then bring this other friend, can you guest this two musician at your place? It's okay. Just when it's like that, the scene grew up. And also like coming back, of course, to your journey. You mentioned like you were a drummer and then you just singing, and then of course you ended up Love Is Noise. But I wanna also to know which were and are the influences that you had growing up, especially as a drummer, if there was some drummer that you were looking at, or also in the singing or just in music in generally. Maybe
Yeah, so the band that really started it all for me was Avenged Sevenfold,
okay.
uh, and the Rev who played drums for them. He was a very big influence in my playing, and then I guess vocally it would have been um, Howard from Killswitch Engage would have been the other one that really influenced me, and with Howard, being a person of color, I was like, yeah, you can really. It doesn't have to be a space where you're white or whatever, and because metal is there's quite a lot of that kind of it's a lot of white people in metal, and for me to be someone who's not that and to front a band
Yeah.
and to understand that Howard being that for me really made me realize that I could do it when I was younger.
Yeah.
I never did. Well, it took me 10, 15 years to go and do it, but it was in there.
It's
And
yeah, it's important what you said because there are a lot of people that are non-white and then they maybe just stay in the back and
yeah, because they feel like they don't fit. They
yeah,
feel like they're not
yeah, you're
in.
right.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to just fly the flag for people of color
Anyone,
and
yeah,
that
anyone, yeah, and
it,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
and like metal and rock is
yeah,
is is not exclusive, and it is very inclusive,
it's
and
the
it's
opposite. Yeah, I'm saying
yeah,
of bands that coming also from like the native, let's say like for example Native Americans, they are coming like so straightly with their music, and it's important because there is a place for their music and for everyone music because I love like they can literally scream their own thoughts and words and sorrow and pain and happiness whatsoever throughout the music because everything is changing. So there is a place for every. I mean, we are not fucking all the same, I guess.
yeah,
So the fuck
exactly.
it's like yeah, that's fucking just. But it's important because especially younger kids, like young guy, young girls out there, they also struggle with all these fucking shitty racism out there, and then maybe it's just standing in the corner saying, I could never do that. It's all about gender, ethnicity. It's all fucking this shitty world that we live in.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
we
And
don't
what
care.
I believe is everyone's the same.
Yeah.
We all want the same thing, and I feel like, alternative music is a space where anyone can be themselves. And that's why I feel so at home here and with what we do with Love Is Noise and the people around us, and the fans of our music and fans of Friends music, because we're all here for one thing, which is to enjoy the moment, enjoy the music, and make a change in the world. And I do think that with To Live in a Different Way, we've created something where it is definitely a stepping stone to not a stepping stone, but it's an album that will show people that you don't have to do the same thing. You don't have to be a certain way. You can literally do whatever you want.
Exactly.
And in a musical way, we have we've definitely done that, and I'm trying to push just to be who you want to be.
Yeah, because it's also not about, like I said, gender, race, ethnicity, whatsoever. It's about also age. There are women, men, I don't know, let's say they are in their 60s and they think their life is over, or people in their 20s. It's just let's break out all the stigma that society put in our head. That's fucking and I love that today you're doing that with Love Is Nice because with the To Live in a Different Way, you're teaching to love us no matter the fucking and love each other no matter fucking what. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly.
That's a
Yeah,
fucking amazing. And of course, just before we start to talk about the we mentioned there were, of course there has been prior an EP released, Euphoria. Where were you? So of course I want to ask you mainly about what is changed sound wise, if there was any change between
yeah,
the first EP and this upcoming album, because of course there are 3 years almost.
yeah.
Yeah,
So when me and Tom started the band, it was
yeah,
literally we just got in a room and wrote music. We didn't care about what it was. We didn't care about appealed to. We just cared about creating something, and we had no vision for it. We were just like, okay, let's
Yeah.
make something we enjoy, and then let's go from there. And we did that, and we had the singles, and then we moved into, the Euphoria Where Were You EP, which we just wrote because we enjoyed the music we were creating,
Yeah.
and that was solely it. Like we didn't have a vision of being the biggest thing in the world, or anything like that. We just wanted to get something out that we could call our own,
Yeah.
and yeah, we learned a lot of lessons doing that, and those lessons that we took, we put them into To
Okay.
Live in a Different Way. We with Euphoria Where Were You, it was definitely, it was, for me, it was a stepping stone into writing music where it had a higher purpose, but also
Okay.
it was deep in terms of the lyrical content.
Yeah.
And what it taught me was, what it taught me was to learn to be myself within the music.
Yeah.
And I feel like we definitely did that with that EP. And then we took everything we learned over those first 3 years, and took about a year or so writing and recording To Live a Different Way. And we learned very quickly about what to do. Tom and myself learned an incredible amount about songwriting, about, lyrical content,
Yeah.
and the whole overall feel of an album, because when you listen to Live in a Different Way front to back, it's an album that makes sense from the start to the end, and we
That's what
wanted
I want to
to.
ask you. Yeah, also because many people start always to listen, like, I don't know, maybe from the single that has been released, or maybe, I don't know, just randomly, Spotify and this whatever services, like just, I don't know, like random, like, I don't know, just mention a song, Sunshine, let's start from that. That's why I wanted to ask you. It's important that people, of course, I know that it's important, but let's say to the people just to start to listen to the first to the last. Makes sense, like you were saying. And
Yeah, exactly. Like we did that on purpose. We wanted to create an album that was, all our favorite albums of all time all had a story front to back. It didn't have to be like a concept album, but when you listen to it front to back, it's a masterpiece. I'm not saying our album is a masterpiece, but what I think it is something that is different from what is the norm in terms of rock and
yeah,
heavy music at this moment in time. And we did that on purpose. With all our previous music, it didn't really have a purpose, but we found what our purpose was with To Live a Different Way. And yeah, it's definitely a special record. Lyrically, it means a lot to me, and musically, it means a lot to us as well. So yeah, I hope that when people listen to it, they can really understand, and take something from the work that we've done.
because already at the moment there are just two singles out. Or
Yeah, so
single.
we've got, so the singles that are out is Soft Glow, To Live in a Different Way,
Okay.
Sunshine,
Oh, you
um,
have quite a few.
yeah, Take 1 Minute, and Jawbreaker. Yeah, they're
You
the
spoiled all the album then.
yeah. But we have 6 songs that people
Yes.
wouldn't have heard.
Okay. And
Um,
you release these songs, of course, like in an order, like to people to listen the album, just to start to prepare to this kind of, let's say,
yeah,
story that is in the album. And of course, I want to ask about that story in the album, of course.
yeah. So the story of the album,
Yeah.
that there isn't a concept, as I said
Yeah.
previously. It's basically about my growth from being someone young to today, and
Okay.
all the trials and tribulations that I've been through with that. So, for example, I've had a girlfriend for a very long time, and some of the songs are about her, Gracie, and then I've also had, there's other things about, like, understanding that we die, and the power that it gives you, in that this is ascending, the power that, we all die, so you should enjoy every moment you've got, because you never
Yeah.
know when it's going to end. That's another. So there's all little stories throughout the
Yeah.
album, and then yeah, it's just all about growth, and personal growth, and understanding mainly that, you know this life is a slow process, and you've got to take each day as it comes,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
enjoy every day as it comes, because you'll never know when it be your last. Yeah, that's
And I think
definitely
also,
the vibe. Yeah.
it can be also really self-reflective because if we see like to live in a different way, for example, I had my life, like living, projecting myself into the future, like for one way or another, every one of us that or did already that. We just think what I'm gonna do tomorrow, what I'm gonna do in 10 days, where I will be in 50 years, my retirement, you know, and maybe even like the title to live in a different way, it's kind of an invitation to say stop at my moment, try to live in a
Yeah.
different way. And it's a beautiful like that because it's kind of to stop a second, reflect, and maybe just try to, maybe we are not forcing anyone here, try to see it in a different way. Exactly. And that's really beautiful because like I said, it's also kind of a little bit autobiographical biography a little bit, but
Yeah.
also anyone can see themselves in this work because it's not like you talk about apocalyptic things, it's just life.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah.
yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. This album is, yeah, it's just yeah, you mentioned everything you said there made total sense. This album is something that I hope people will listen to in 20, 30 years and go, okay, this kind of describes what I've been through in terms of the person who's listening to it. They can listen to it now and listen to it in 30 years and go, okay, I did live from listening to this album, I did live in a different way, and this album gave them the opportunity to be able to
Yeah.
live in a way which was completely different to how they've been before. So I'm all about pushing that. I'm all about pushing about yeah, I'm all about pushing to exist in ways that you didn't think previously. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
we're
important
stuck on
because
our phones,
yeah,
we're stuck on social media, we're stuck on all these different things. And I'm also stuck in those ways, but
yeah,
I do all I can and I push in as many ways as I can to show that you can be the person you always wanted to be.
yeah, it
You've just
doesn't
got to
yeah.
you just got to find that space, and you've got to have people around you who influence you to be in that space. And yeah, me and Tom wrote something in musical form that could be that influence, and
Yeah,
I really hope it does help people.
yeah, because sometimes we sometimes most of the time or always we are with our phone, with our social devices, and what but it can be, of course, it's helpful, otherwise there would have been no way to listen music like or find out new music especially, so it's helpful. But we lose ourselves, like that is let's say like the classic things before going to sleep, we most of us just start to scrolling like before we fall asleep. We lost even the thing about reading, for example, or falling asleep watching movies. I remember I was kid with the sound of the TV.
Yeah, yeah,
So these things are even just even the simpler things. It could be go out for a walk without, I mean, maybe keep the phone, but put it in a silent mode. Just forget about for a couple of hours. It's kind of an invitation to reflect. It's also an invitation to reflect, to see your surrounding, and that can inspire you to be different. There's a lot of way, but also I think it's a good way because I'm thinking to apply like to how I live, just always being like running. It could be like
yeah,
slow down, take your time, and maybe for me as a person could be live in a different way to take time for myself during that day, during the week, where I don't want to give explanation to anyone. It's just like try you see already your music impact someone, me. So you see,
there we
that's good.
go.
That's good. That's good. It's
Yeah.
working. It's working because I think it's really self-reflective, and it could be because people forget that music is therapy. Is a fucking really therapy. I'm sorry, I say fucking so many times. We don't get that.
Don't
It's
worry at all.
it's a therapy. It's a really therapeutic, and I think, and I'm sure that even this your album, your work can be used as a healing journey.
Yeah, yeah, it
That's
healed me for sure. So
that's
as
important.
long as if it heals me, it'll definitely heal other people. So yeah.
Yeah, and of course, the release, like you said, it's on the 14th, and there is of course, the pre-order, of course, I guess, are open since by month so far. There are a few new something that is gonna be released yet, or we will see all in the 14th.
Yeah, so It Hurts to Know You're There will
Okay.
have be the final single off the album. and then you'll have the whole thing, 50 something minutes of pure
Oh,
joy and sadness and happiness and
oh,
just a plethora of all the emotions you could think of. So
and that's good. Cool. And of course,
yeah,
it's
it's gonna be great, and I do think that once this album releases, people are really going to understand what we have to say. And yeah, I hope it allows us to, tour the world and do the things that I want to do.
yeah, I mean, why not? Your sound is really is fresh, but it's all the same time is in the alternative music. It's just
Yeah.
and of course about the sound. Being yourself, behind you being in the rhythm and the rhythmic part, you being I mean, behind Love Is Noise. How would you describe your sound with a quote, with a adjective? Not saying like I don't know, it's alternative, it's punk, it's a metal, doesn't matter. I don't like label. I prefer hearing through your own words how you would describe your own sound.
Yeah, so Love is Noise. This is what I normally say. So yeah, if imagine it this way, if Smashing Pumpkins and Deftones were walking to the studio that they were going to record in, and then they met up with Radiohead and told them to come to the studio, and then also met up with My Bloody Valentine and told them to come in the studio, and all four of those bands created an album together. That's what To Live in a Different Way and Love Is Noisy Sound basically is. So it's a big pot of all those influences, and it creates something new, which is Love Is Noise and our album To Live in a
Yeah,
Different Way.
because you have something that can attract a field from the grunge era to the alternative, the crossover ones. I mean, and that's the good thing because there are no excuses. People can say, "Ah, it's not my genre." They're gonna find. I think they're gonna find it in 11th song. One,
Yeah, yeah,
they're gonna
yeah,
love
they'll
it. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, they'll enjoy
Yeah,
it.
and of course, what it was like for you, of course, like one of the, I don't know if there is one of this because, of course, I think you love all the songs you wrote, but maybe one that that you have a nice memory about writing it or recording it.
Yeah, I think Mist was the first time I cried whilst recording. So
Wow,
Mist was the song where at the end of it I just burst out crying. It was the last song on the album. We went through a lot during the recording time, and yeah, I just cried at the end of it, and because I did that, Mist will mean probably the most to me on the record.
it's because of the deep meaning of the lyrics.
Yeah, I didn't mean the lyrics, and yeah, it's probably the deepest lyrically I've gone so far. So yeah,
That's I mean, and also the title is beautiful. I mean, I love the mist in any way, like that it's beautiful and it's kind of poetic. So let's say that in all of these there is there is music. People can have fun, they can cry, can jump, but there is kind of a little bit of poetry. I think too. So you combine. You should do a little book next time.
yeah,
Like,
that was it.
but with a physical copy that I guess you did.
Yeah,
There is the booklet. There are the songs, so people
yeah, yeah.
can read it. And did you thinking, or I don't know if you already did it too? Do you have some release party for the album planned?
Yeah, so in we have one show in London on the 22nd of February, where people from London or surrounding areas, or anyone wants to fly can come and get a ticket and yeah, enjoy the
Already.
songs with. So I can't wait for that. It's gonna be sick.
So and the location, the venue, where is the
So it's called the Lower Third in London.
okay. And for the moment, is it just the only live that you guys booked, or you're
Yeah, we
planning?
have a few other shows in the UK, but we're working on getting to Europe and around the
Okay,
world. So
okay.
hopefully we'll
And,
be able to see as many people as we can
and in
soon.
UK, is just London, or you
London, and then we have a show in Liverpool called No Play, and then we have another festival which I've forgotten the name of, which is really bad.
okay. I mean,
We'll be supporting Lake Malice, who are also from the UK. So yeah, that'll be cool.
so I mean, of course, there is going to be after the release the opportunity for being in Europe and doing there is a hole here that we are just in February. I mean, February,
Yeah,
January. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen when we release the album. I'm hoping that when we drop the album, people start to take a listen and start putting us
Yeah,
on shows and enjoying the music that we create. So I'd love that one day.
of course, because it's you put out you put all yourself in this music. All Love Is Nice. You put to live in a different way in this album, and it's normal. and especially I think you saw as well being a promoter doing this work. When there are good musicians that put a lot of effort, people out there notice that. It's kind of, kind of an energy thing biased.
Yeah.
That's kind of things how it works. So it's just a matter of time. It's just you worked a lot. Now just enjoy a little bit the releases, enjoy a little bit the reviews, the interviews, the shows, and the shows will come. And especially the festival. I mean, you in UK have a lot of festivals to play, a lot.
Yeah. So
Maybe,
hopefully we get something from that. Definitely.
yeah, of course. And of course, like since really we want to just give a, like you said, a really strong message at the beginning, if about being like like you want to put out yourself out there no matter what, and it's important for any, because I always like to look to the younger generation, because let's admit it, they're gonna be the fucking future one day. So if they don't think good, we are in fucking trouble. So if what advice would you tell to any of these kids, especially the youngest people, they
I
won't
would,
maybe follow your dream or any fucking dream they have?
I would say spend as much time as you can off your phone and spend as much time learning what you want to learn. Learn it while you're young because life can come at you fast and time gets in your way. So do all you can when you're younger to learn whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be music, it can be anything, and learn to, just enjoy the world that you live in. That's what I would recommend.
Okay. Since we were talking about live show, I didn't do this question in a while. I even forgot that I have this question. Just to, just to even show to the people about your influences. Okay, so you are a promoter. You have been a promoter. So right now you are back to be a promoter again. You can do your own festival, no matter what. It can be any place, and so you have to pick a country. You don't have to be or the city. Just it's up to you. And give it the name of the festival. So you have to choose the name of the festival and just put the, let's say, 5 to make it easier, like the lineup of this festival.
Cool.
So I give you the organization. I step back.
Cool. So we'll do that now. So the festival will be held in London
Okay.
and it will be called A Night in the Capital,
Okay.
and it would be headlined by Radiohead.
Okay.
It would have, and then the rest of the lineup would be Fontaines DC, um, Killswitch Engage, Smashing Pumpkins, Paramore.
I love
Then it would have Avenged Sevenfold. It would have Chunk No Captain Chunk. It would have Love Is Noise, and it would have
course,
Low.
of course.
Yeah, and then Love. A bunch of those bands. I could name so many.
Thousands. No, but it's important because also people get to know your personal influences, and it's important to you as well. So let's say that to the people, just to make it to just close the interview, the pre-orders are open. They can find it, or they can take it later. Where they can find the album in your personal bank app, or there is a through also social media.
Yeah, so you can get it through Century Media in Europe and the UK. You can go to Amazon Vinyl for worldwide. You can get it at HMV in the UK, and you can get it from Rough Trade in the UK. And yeah, it's available worldwide. Just go on our
Yeah.
bio on Instagram and you'll find it.
And especially book the band. Let's start
Yes,
with the band.
please.
Because
Yeah,
there is a positive message out there. It's just to love each other. Stop being fucking selfish and love each other. We need unity, no division. It's important. We're in a crucial part of doing that. And people, and if we don't do this, or bands, musicians like you, through the music, which is the most, it's the worldwide language. We don't do that. I don't know who else can bring unity. So thank you for that.
No problem at all.
So thank you so much, Cameron. I wish you really good and an amazing release party of the album, and looking forward for maybe, I don't know, when there's gonna be a big tour, like all the dates. We're gonna make another interview to talk about how did the album, how was the release party, and wish you all the best. And thank you for the positive. We need more musicians and artists like you in the music scene. Really.
Well, I really appreciate it, and thank you for taking the time to speak to me today.
Always. I have what is it? 7 p.m., 6:30 there. So
yeah.
have a good rest of the afternoon, Cameron.
Yeah, thank you. You as well.
Bye.
Bye.